Rob with the Boxing Voice here with Golden Boy, a standout prospect, Hector Tanajara Jr., coming off his fresh win Saturday on the Cotto Canelo undercard. That must have been pretty surreal for you, man, because originally you were supposed to be on the Friday card, but you got moved to the big one on Saturday. How did that happen, and how do you feel?
Um, After my last fight, they just told me, I was gonna fight again. I was supposed to fight the 20th, but after I got the knockout 2 weeks ago, they told me I was gonna fight the 21st, and was just real, happy and blessed to be able to fight in such a big card, and happy that Golden Boy gave me that opportunity.
And you said that your team was kind of telling you it's kind of like an appetizer because that's the end goal right there. You want to be on pay per view in the big room, at the international event. So fighting in that, was that any kind of pressure, or that excites you being in that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, no, it just excited me. I was just ready to get it going and fight, something like that, and just to get that that feel of it. Because they said, like my team said later on, hopefully I'll be setting places like that out.
And you've had a pretty good year. I mean, you got signed to Golden Boy. Robert Garcia took you out there to California to train. You got sparring with guys like Mikey Garcia, Nano Rodriguez. You're kind of out there, ahead of your usual prospects. So I mean, what's that been like for you? Is that again added pressure? I mean, motivation. I mean, because it's kind of rare to see a fighter get that kind of push.
No, it was just motivation. I'm blessed, again to be working with Robert Garcia and have great sparring like that with Mikey Garcia and Nano Rodriguez. I was also sparring Ronnie Rios. You can't get much better sparring than that. And they're helping me take my career and my level to the next level. Getting me better each day. And working hard in the gym.
All right. I mean, what has that done for you, seeing that you're sparring with Mikey Garcia, one of the guys who was you know projected to be the next guy, Nano, who just got a big knockout over Bam Bam Nahida this last week. What's the adjustment been like for you going from the amateurs? You just graduated high school to boom, you're in California sparring with these guys and going pro and being on the Cotto Canelo undercard.
At first it was a little different sparring with them, but now I already got the hang of it. I'm doing much better, and they just give me a lot of confidence. But because I'm sparring them, like when I go into a fight, I'm thinking, this guy is not as good as the people I've been sparring, so I'm ready for whatever my opponent can bring.
Okay, 130. You're fighting at 130. You're 18 years old, 5'10". You've got a pretty impressive frame, and you're always in shape and you're always working. What kind of threat do you think you can make, and what kind of noise or splashes do you think you can make in these boxing waves?
I think it can make pretty good excitement. I have good body. For or pretty big. I'm pretty tall. Pretty big body for 130, and hopefully I can make some good excitement. Hopefully get a title there soon, and later on keep going, climbing each weight class, and just trying to accomplish as much as I can in each weight class.
All right, it's like a science bringing up a prospect, but they're already talking about bringing you up to 6 rounds, and you're getting your opponents out of there early, with one shot, hitter quitters. So, are you think you're ready for that? I mean, what's the communication like with the matchmakers and Golden Boy as far as moving you faster than your typical prospect?
Yeah, I think I'm ready for that. I've been training hard in the gym. It's a lot of sparring, a lot of rounds, so I'm ready for as 6, 8 rounds. Already, and just with my promoters, it's a good relationship. They're gonna move me, pretty quick. Keep me busy, and then hopefully in a couple of years, fight for a title.
All right, and you flex power, you keep your distance, you seem like you're doing everything right in the ring. So with Robert Garcia, who's known to be pushing recently brawler type guys like Maidanas, like the Chavezes. Do you think you could bring that back to where the high level boxers per se, like Mikey Garcia and the way he boxed, as far as the reputation for the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy?
Yeah, Robert has a variety of different fighters. Some brawl, like Brandon, Maidana, but he also has boxers, Mikey Garcia. I believe, used to be a boxer puncher too. So I'm trying to, hopefully be one of those boxer punchers in his gym, and hopefully, bring that back to his gym.
Yeah, it's been a quick year. You already got 4 rounds, but I got to ask you about that because you were in California. I haven't really got a chance to get you now that you're back for the holidays. But the first time you're going in there with Mikey Garcia, you're a fresh pro. What's going through your head? How was that adjustment? Were you a little nervous? I mean, how'd you feel?
Oh, that time, I was a little nervous. I was like, man, he's gonna kick my ass, but just went in there. At first it was a little nervous. It was a little difficult. Just try to stay calm. And now I know I'm doing much better. I'm learning new things from Mikey, and just he's taught me, how to be calm and take my time in there. Just don't try to do anything crazy, and just be more, of the professional style. And I think that's he's been a lot of the big help in taking my my style and my career, helping me to the next level as well.
All right, you already got a fight on TV. You got on a Cotto Canelo undercard. Good start. I mean, Golden Boy, Robert Garcia. That kind of puts your name out there quicker. But is there any talks about what to expect for 2016?
Just next fight's already gonna be 6 rounds, 2 of them, and then jump to the 8 rounds. Hopefully, fight for something small, a little title or something like that. But hopefully, definitely big things coming next year.
All right, so you're going to be back in California, back in training the beginning of next year. But where can people find you on social media to follow more about El Finito?
You can find me at Hector_Tanajara. That's Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, Hector Tanajara Jr.
All right, I appreciate the time. Good luck, and definitely follow your progress as a fellow San Antonian, man. Good luck, and see you out there. All right, Rod, signing out.